Clear? Then comes competencies and pattern of behavior. How many competent people you hire? How do you improve the competencies of your people? That is also there. Pattern of behavior, the way people behave in the organization, also demonstrate their understanding on health and safety concepts. Yeah. So this is what it is, guys. This is the definition of a health and safety culture. Now, this culture is influence means it can be improved or spoiled by four C's. Getting it? Four C's. These four C's are the major reason of any disaster or development. Getting my point? So, for example, I think it's Mr. Amir talking to me or Mr. Ajit?
Me, sir, Amir.
Amir. All right. So, Mr. Amir, for example, if you are happy with your organization, if you are satisfied in your organization, the reason must be within these four C's. And if you are not satisfied in your organization, you want to change your organization or whatever, the reason must be again within these four C's. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are these four C's? This is the commitment by the management towards health and safety. First C.
Yes,
Second is communication in the organization. Are you free to communicate health and safety related issues with anyone in the industry? Or you have restrictions on that, like only talk to Mr. X? Yeah. Then comes worker competency. Do you have competent people around you? Competent people will take care of health and safety. Or because of some other client or some law or something. They understand it is part of my job, it is part of my life. Yeah. That's what is competent person all about. And then cooperation, where different departments should cooperate with each other. Like cooperation, not in health and safety department. That is anyway you will receive. That's you can say what I should say. It's very common. Like in one department, everybody cooperate each other. That's fine. We are talking about cooperation between different departments. Like HR is cooperating the admin is cooperating the production is cooperating the health and safety is cooperating the HR. So all are working together, especially on health and safety issues. Got my point?
yes, sir.
I will give you one example of this cooperation. In L&T Electromech, I was in L&T Electromech. Yeah, there are multiple L&T companies. There are like for many branches. I was in Electromech. Only in our branch, this cooperation was visible. There you can say, even if the organization have to buy, forget about PPE, if they have to buy any equipment, they will take the approval of health and safety manager. For PPE, it is very common, you have to take approval from health and safety manager. That is understood. But even for other things, like even like for example, we are going to buy a Xerox photocopy machine, or a printing machine, or vehicle, or some cable detector kind of equipments. Getting my point? Even
Yes, sir.
hand tools and power tools, grinding machine, drilling machine, welding machine, hammer, for literally anything you can think of, they will take the approval of health and safety manager. That's it. This is what we planned. This is what we are going to buy. Please give us your approval whether it is good or do we need to look for something else. So the safety manager will carry out his own research and will finalize it. Yes, okay, this is fine. Getting my point? Any plannings, work site drawings, not only fire or emergency planning or emergency drawing, any drawing of camp area, drawings of work sites will get approval of health and safety department also. Without their approval, they will not going to proceed further. This was the
That's
system.
good,
This was the,
good commitment.
yes, this was the culture in my field, at least in my electromech branch. I don't know about other L&Ts, but it was in my company. Health and safety manager was always considered in literally everything you can think of. Sometimes I have, because I worked in that office. I was in the office, you can say, for 6 months. So I have seen, guys, even for buying, this green tea. Green tea.
Yes,
Green tea is a very common, stuff we use in office. Green tea, coffee beans, coffee machine. They will take the suggestion from health and safety department. So can you please confirm us that this brand we are going to prefer for our office? Will it be fine or not? Yeah, like with minimum chemicals or zero chemicals if possible. And health and safety team will carry out a research. Team can be like, it can be me or my manager, anyone you can say. They approach to the manager. The manager will give the task to someone to finalize the best product, and then will inform you can to the company. So everything you can think of when I'm going up to green tea, you can imagine the other stuff. Right, guys? Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
You talk about ergonomic suitability, you talk about the safety of material and equipment, you talk about the quality of material and equipment, everything goes through the health and safety department. This much was the value and perception of the management towards health and safety. They will not do anything without the involvement of health and safety manager. If they carry out something without the if by chance they carry out something without his involvement, they will be like very sorry for that and all. The CEO used to come to visit my safety manager's office and ask that, sir, we did this thing, I was not aware of it, my team did, now can you please provide your comments on this, if it is fine or do we need to change. Everything you can think of, they'll go pass through the health and safety manager. This was the system. Now I'm not saying that health and safety is something big or something like that. No, it's cooperation. Yeah, they expect safety team also to support them, and they were doing it. They were not saying, hey, this is not my job, I'm not here to verify tea coffee for you. Getting my point, guys? They were also working in coordination with everyone. HR department, even for salaries, sometimes they discuss with the health and safety person, the manager. This much was the involvement of health and safety into all the departments, not only admin or operation, everywhere you can think of. Even business development manager, BDM, used to be in close contact with the safety team. Got the point? So this is the cooperation we are looking for, or we are talking about. We are not talking about your manager and you, and relation between you and your manager. That has to be good. But we are talking about relation between you and HR manager, or project manager, or CEO. Yeah, everyone should work together for health and safety. Everyone should consider health and safety as a necessity, as a priority in the organization. I hope the message is clear, guys. You got the point? This is what is the meaning of cooperation. If any of that C is not good, for example, improper management commitment, or improper communication, or lack of competencies, or improper cooperation, you will see the system, the culture will depreciate, will not improve, and employees will try to run away from such organization. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So somewhere, if you analyze properly, somewhere there are these 4 C's reason behind all the problems in your organization related to health and safety. Okay. Now, relationship between culture and performance, we need to understand this. Health and safety, culture and performance are both related to each other, which means where the culture is good, the performance of people will be good. Where the culture is poor, even if the performance is good, they will not follow the standards. Similarly, it's vice versa. If the performance is good, the culture will improve. If the performance is not good, the culture will spoil. Got the point? Try to understand. Well-defined relationships between health and safety culture and health and safety performance has time and again proved successful in reducing accident rates, which is seen as a positive step forward, and it further influence on the safety culture. Research has shown that improvements in safety management are influential in achieving positive safety culture, and that is why we suggest continual improvement. You should never stop. Keep on working for development, for improvement. Got the point,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Yeah. So this is
Yes.
what it is. A very common example. Have you ever been to, for example, just using as an example here, Singapore? Anyone has experienced in Singapore, guys? Whether tour or job, whatever.
Yeah,
No?
I've been,
Yes.
I've been there.
Yeah. You have been there. For how many days you were there? If you can
For
give us some.
10 days. 10 days.
10 days. So in those 10 days, how many times have you thrown some rubbish on the road?
No, you cannot. Okay, you will get punished.
Yeah. So for example,
Yeah, I was there in 4 weeks. Last
yeah. So we can say you see the culture. Not only you, nobody do it. Yeah. So the culture is so high, we can say that even your performance is improved there. Yeah.
Yes.
But when you go to some other country, for example, I can say here India also, or any other local, any other country you can take. Where you see people throwing rubbish here and there, you will also start throwing. Because somebody says, no, this is bad, you will say, come on, they are also doing it. Yeah. So if the culture is not good, your performance may not be good enough. Got the point? Similarly, if your performance is good, slowly the culture will improve in the organization. You should not you should not depreciate your performance. Keep on improving, keep on working hard. Someday people will improve. It took me, guys, it took me 6 months of time to improve the culture in our Punjiloid Gujarat refinery. But after 6 months, I'm telling you, my job was literally only to sign some paper document because I was the head of HSE. So for approval related some documents I have to sign. Nothing else. Every activity was taken care nicely by my workers and supervisors or engineers. Safety team, their only job was to show their presence and help someone if they are in need of, like some suggestions or something if they require. Then we are available to provide them the suggestions. Otherwise, we will not required on site. You can say that. Workers started identifying hazards, started reporting near misses, and even investigating near misses by themselves. Workers started taking initiatives of delivery in toolbox talks. Can you imagine? Safety meetings. Workers started coming, sir, today I will conduct the safety meeting. We only used to monitor their performance that, okay, yes, if everything is fine or not. That much you can say the culture changes within 6 to 7 months maximum, you can say. After 7 months, I used to watch even Gujarati movies in the theater because all the English and Hindi movies I'm done with. Now, what to do? Go and watch some Gujarati movie in theater, which I don't even understand. Yeah, because I was no more required on the. I requested the management that, sir, please transfer me to some other location. I'm wasting my energy here. I'm not required now. You can send any other person, only for dealing with the clients and attending meetings. I'm young enough to do these two jobs. I need more work. So please shift me to somewhere else. Then the company asked me, where do you want to go? And I started with Russia, then Thailand, and then finally I ended up in Abu Dhabi. What the point? This much management was also started giving me the preference because they realized that yes, this is the right way of working. On the field, everything changes within 6 to 7 months, guys. Why and how? Because the culture was improved. Everybody started taking care of health and safety. Understanding health and safety is their responsibility. It is practically possible, but yes, you have to work a lot. Yeah, you have to work a lot. Got my point? Now, some example of positive safety culture. What happens in a positive culture? In positive culture, leadership and commitment to health and safety throughout the organization at all levels of the organization is visible. Acceptance that high standards of health and safety are achievable as a part of long-term strategy formulated by the organization. Means if you want to survive for long, you want to become a world number one ranking organization, you have to you have to accept high standards of health and safety. Okay, no compromise, that chalta hai attitude, let it go attitude. You have to literally ignore this. You have to stop this attitude. And then in positive culture, managers believe in safety and treat it as an investment rather than as a cost. Got the point? So this is what happens in positive culture. And what is the indicator of what happens in a negative culture? Poor health and safety leadership from the management. They don't even bother about health and safety, only production. Managers are generally concerned in ensuring the productivity is achieved and sales targets are met, even if it means adapting unsafe practices or breaking the set procedures. Health and safety issues are neglected. Near misses, worker complaints are neither reported nor investigated. Like even if somebody comes and report, you will be like, it's okay. We will see later on. Okay, thank you very much for reporting. But you actually don't work upon it. I have seen such situations where the worker complaint box was literally removed from the site. Why? Because it was overfilled. There was no space, but no one bothered to open it and check the complaints. Getting the point? They literally removed the box itself. No, it's not required because it's filled. And it's filled because you are not checking it on time. So rather than improving your performance and checking it on time, you are simply removing the complaint box itself. What is this? What the point, guys? It is very wrong. Workers are poorly trained and the company procedures are not properly communicated to them. Have you ever experienced poor training? Do you agree that if this happens, I'll give you example otherwise if you don't agree. Ever experienced poor training, which means you have attended the training but you literally understood nothing? No? Guys, I need someone to inform me
Yes, sir.
whether,
Tell me.
yeah, have you ever undergone a training where you realized it was a complete waste of time?
No, but I had some experience, but not a concrete evidence that I can tell you.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. But if you share the experience, please.
No, sometimes we think that this is useless, but we cannot, highlight here.
Okay, I'll tell you here one example. Again, I will say share my example of refinery. There, when I was shifted to that area, obviously you have to go through safety induction. Very common, no?
Yes.
It happens in every industry. It's very common. So I have to go through safety induction. I went, being a safety person. I was in the first. Now, see, try to imagine, guys. Imagine the scenario. Okay, it was a big room, a theater. You know, theater.
Yes. Generally, it's the same like that.
Yeah, so it was old theater converted into a training facility, training center for induction
Good.
process. Old theater, okay. Not, new theaters are all in PVRs and all, no, so different. It was an old theater. All right. Now, what happens there? Being a safety person, I quickly went in and I took the front seat. You can say, yeah, I want to learn more. Yeah, but the theater was completely filled because every day different people used to come to enter in the refinery, whether as a visitor or whatever. You have to go through the induction program. So it was filled, you can say, within 15-20 minutes. Now, what happens inside that theater? Lights off. A movie started on health and safety. The movie was in Hindi language only. No Gujarati, no English, nothing else. Only Hindi language. The workers or employees sitting in that room may not, everyone do not understand Hindi also in India. There are people who are well, in their local language, like Marathis, Gujaratis, and similar other people. Only UP, Bihari, Rajasthani, and some MP people speak or understand Hindi comfortably.
Especially
Others may
North.
not.
Yes.
Yeah. So only it was in Hindi. There was a movie of 3 hours. A
What?
3 hour movie was run. Okay. And the movie was completely designed, not based on a real accident. It was designed where people are acting, movie. They were acting. And so this is what it is. So when I saw during the movie, I just turn around, and I found, guys, most of the employees were literally sleeping.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they
found
slept.
AC theater. They want to
Yeah.
sleep.
So they were sleeping, and few, those who were not sleeping, were busy in talking with each other. Okay, so only it was, you can say, it was only me focusing on the movie. Probably because I was not having any friends at that time, or I was on the front seat, so I cannot sleep. Yeah. Now, what the trainer was doing? Trainer was on a side on his table, and he was doing the paperwork, preparing the entry cards of all the people, all the employees who have to enter in the refinery now after the training. Sticking that inducted helmet stickers on the helmet. You are inducted. So he was sticking, arranging the stickers with his signature and doing all the entry card preparation thing. So he carried out this activity for those 3 hours. After 3 hours, he stood up. He comes in front of the stage, switched off the movie, switched on the lights, and then he said, "You see this PPE? There was a dummy, guys. You know, dummy, not dummy, a mannequin.
Hmm.
So there was a dummy of a human being with full PPE on it, coverall, safety belt, and then sorry, not safety belt, but coverall, safety shoes, helmet, goggle, and hand gloves. And then he said, "You see this? You should look like this in the refinery every day. So always remember to wear all this PPE which is available here." He has not even explained what is this PPE all about, why to use coverall and all. He just said, "No, you have to look like this," and the induction is done. Now, what do you think the people have got an impression of health and safety? Come on, this is introduction. Induction is a very important training. See, just talk to me, Mr. Amir. Is it you, Mr. Amir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just reply. Okay. Suppose you come to India. Okay.
Mhm.
I am taking you to meet one of my friend. And now I'll introduce you. He is my friend. His name is Amitabh Bachchan. He's worked in very movies, but now he is old. But yeah, he has done very good movies, some hit movies he has given. That's it. Will you value Mr. Amitabh Bachchan?
No.
But if you come and I will say, see, he is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. His name is enough. He is one of the Bollywood, superstar, and not only in Bollywood, he is famous worldwide. People know him just by his name. He has given hundreds of super hit movies, and still he is working. Still, many directors prefer to have movies with him. He is one of the most this that. If I'll give you more, share more better information about Amitabh Bachchan, you will automatically start respecting him. Oh, he looks like someone very big, right?
Yes. Yes.
If I'll tell you more in detail and with some style that he is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, now you will think, oh, something very big. And if I say he's Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, might have heard the name, though not necessary, then what will be the value?
Nothing.
So imagine the value of introduction. Now, how can you expect the employees working in the refinery to respect health and safety when the introduction was literally a time waste or a formality required for entry passes? Got the point?
Yes.
This is where you can say the culture started spoiling from the beginning itself. The first thing people face regarding health and safety is induction program. If the induction is not taken care of properly, forget about other training. They all will be another time pass, an opportunity to sit in AC room. Getting my point? This is
Yes.
what happened in many organizations. I gave you one example, but I have seen many, and this was the main reason why I myself thought of becoming a trainer. The main reason was delivering safety induction program. I wanted to deliver induction only, you can say, initially. So it happens that in company you have to, once you become a trainer, then you have to do all the training. So slowly, I was put into every other training, but initially my only intention was induction program to introduce health and safety properly to the people, not a formality kind of. Because once the introduction will be done properly, then other things people will take care of by themselves. Yeah. Like for
Right.
example, if I'll give you a very good introduction of Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, you will start doing research by yourself and find out how big or small he is. But I need to introduce him properly. Got the point? So this is how it is, guys. Workers are poorly trained in the organization means the culture is poor. You really need to work upon it. You really need to improve it. Clear?
Exactly.
So now, what are some indicators that could be used to assess the effectiveness of an organization's health and safety culture? Let us see some indicators. These are number of incidents, absenteeism rates, sickness rates, staff turnover, people leaving and joining the organization, level of compliance with health and safety rules and procedures, and complaints about working conditions. These are some of the indicators, and we are not restricted here. Okay, these are only covered in about, so we will be going through this. But there are more indicators. For example, quality of work equipment,
Sir,
salaries
is
of your
this all
employees.
in book?
Sorry.
These all are these all in book?
Yes, obviously. Yeah, all this is available in your book. But
Because
I'm just
exam
sharing.
always ask like that. Indicators.
Yes,
They will
they can
ask you.
ask.
mm, These are the
Your
indicators always in the every exam, especially open book.
Yes. How a question can come in this topic, that in the scenario you have to identify positive indicators of health and safety culture or negative indicators of health and safety culture. Got the point?
Yes.
So that's why don't restrict yourself only to these what is visible here. There can be more indicators like quality of work equipments and work environment. Will also tell you the culture in the particular organization. Quality behavior of people will tell you the health and safety culture in the organization. Okay, which is very much the second last point, level of compliance with health and safety procedures, but also behavior, how they are talking, how they are behaving, whether they're shouting or abusing and all that. And then one more indicator you can say, salaries. Organizations that pay good amount to their employees, it is a clear sign of good health and safety indicator.
This is the
Yeah,
strongest sign. People are always
yeah,
jumping for the salaries.
yes, obviously everybody is working for money. If you pay them good, they can take all the risk for you. They can work out on everything you demand. If you don't pay them good, they will only do the formalities. All right.
Exactly.
So salaries is a very good matter. Then working upon the employees, benefits, employee benefits. You understand employee benefit like leave, for
Yes.
example. Yeah,
Provident
sick
fund
leave
something.
or yeah, something like that. All these things. Other benefits that we get with the job, like normally a normal
Indicator,
organization.
indicator we can also write these benefits.
Yes, you can. You don't have to write. You have to check in the scenario. If there is any such benefit visible, you can mention that as positive or negative indicator of health and safety. Got the point? I'll give you one example of worker benefits. Most of the organization, what they do, they follow the minimum legal requirement because it's a legal requirement. So they have to follow like 3 days of sick leave or something like that. Got it? That is law. So they have to follow labor law requirement. But some good companies, like my previous company, when I was in Oman, I was with OTI, occupational training. It was managed by some Europeans, and Britisher was the general manager. Now there was this system in this particular company only. Whenever we as a trainer drive for more than 8 hours, we have to sometimes cover a distance of 8 hours in one day. Okay, driving for 8 hours. We will get a mandatory 1 day leave, paid leave for one day. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So if I am driving on Monday, Tuesday will be my off. Okay. Now, if I do not want that leave, I don't want Tuesday off. This will be safe. I can take
Overtime.
this leave. Yes, I can take this leave on Friday because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 day off I will get then. Or next Monday also I can claim so that I can get a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Getting my point? This
Yes.
facility was added advantage, you can say benefits. People used to love those benefits. This is just one that I shared with you. Other one was overtime. As per the standards, we used to get overtime, guys. Can you imagine? My salary was, for example, now we normally don't prefer to share, but I am sharing you. My salary was in Indian rupees. If you say it was 3 lakhs, okay.
Mm.
Imagine the amount of overtime with this salary, and especially if I work on weekends. We have earned 5 lakhs in a month by working overtime. Getting the point? Yeah,
Mm.
especially in the month of Ramadan and all. I know people in Middle East will agree. The month of Ramadan, you can earn maximum if you want to work, whether you are
Yes.
a Muslim or non-Muslim. That doesn't matter. Yeah. So we have
Muslim.
no. Our Indian Muslims work in Ramadan also, and they earn a good amount of money. It all goes into overtime.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have earned a lot of money, you can say, in that organization, and they used to give money to us like anything. And another benefits, the salary I already informed you, it's one of the best salary you can say. Yeah. Now, and I was not a senior trainer. Initially when I joined, I was just a trainer, and this was the salary. You can imagine being a senior trainer, what will be the salary, and what should be the salary of managers and all. Then another benefits, we used to get 6 month, 1 month leave schedule was there. Other than that, anytime if you want to go, you need the approval of your manager. You can go but that will be LOP, loss of pay, which is fine because the salary is so high that doesn't matter. To take a
Emergency.
leave for 10 days or 15 days, you want to come to India, you can go on LOP, no problem. They will maintain the conditions, they will manage everything so that you can go on leave. They will not restrict you to go on leave. Yeah. And there were 5 award schemes. Like one is very common, safety man of the month. You all know that. Yeah. Or safe employee of the month. This is very common. Other than this, there were 4 extra award schemes. 5-star employee of the week, sorry, of the month. Yeah. Then there was others also, favorite employee of the month. All these kind of things. The manager has designed all this. So people used to maintain relation with each other because there was another gift for that, where people will vote for you. And everyone used to work in coordination with everyone so that they can get maximum gift. Every month there will be 5 awards that are going to be given to the people, and awards are in the form of cash or some this thing equipment like watch, clock, something like that, but no certification because it was internally designed by the GM. So they will not be giving you any certificate, but yes, there were equipments or money, cash, like they will deposit the amount in your bank account. So all these systems were there. People used to love this system, guys. There were trainers working from 19 years, 20 years continuously, not going away. I was the only recruit in, you can say, I joined that organization in 2013, 14, 13 or 14 something. So in since 2009, you can say I was the only person who joined, and that too because one trainer, he resigned from that company because he has to come to India. He was an Indian guy. He started his own organization, so he left because he cannot continue now. So there was one empty space. So I got the recruitment. You can say I was joined in. Otherwise, there was no vacancy because existing employees are not leaving. That much
Culture was
people
very
use
good, right? Actually, financial culture.
everything. You can say you just talk about it. You can see everything. It was one of the best training provider also at that time. But things change, and there are
Yes.
reasons which we will discuss later on. That we will discuss later on. Okay, that will also come with the topic itself. So don't worry. So this is how you can see these are some indicators with which you can analyze the safety culture of a particular organization, which is availability of resources. Another indicator is availability of resources. If sufficient resources are available, you can say the culture is good. If insufficient resources are there, poor culture.
Poor
Clear?
culture.
So don't restrict yourself to only these 7 or 6 points. There can be more, which if you Google out, you can find out. Okay. Now let us talk about these indicators. So first thing is incident. The most important indicator of the state of health and safety is incidents in this organization. Number of accidents, near misses, and occupational ill health cases occurring within the organization. If they are high, poor culture. If they are low, good culture. Simple. So increasing trends denotes lack of management commitment, lack of adherence to health and safety discipline among the staff, and complacency of the supervisors. Do you know what is complacency?
Complying.
Complacency is basically laparwahi in Hindi, and in English I will say careless attitude
Hmm.
or carefree, whatever you can say. Same, right? Not taking care of health and safety. That's what is complacency. Negligence kind of thing. Okay.
Hmm.
And incompetent team. People are just hired because they are relatives or neighbors or whatever other reason you can give. Okay. Then comes absenteeism and sickness rate. Now, you will agree with this fact. In many organizations, the management do not consider counseling to the people who are coming back after a sick leave. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what, guys. So people don't care. I am telling you, if you analyze the data, 70 to 75% of your employees are taking leaves only for just because they don't want to come, not because they are actually sick.
Sir, they are
Yeah.
thinking we 2 days sick leaves we can get it in 1 month as per company policy. So whenever they want don't want to come, they, sir, I'm not good.
So
Means
why
the
someone
salary.
do not want to come? There can be only two possible reasons. One is personal requirement, like you have to go to school or marriage or something like that. Another is they are not happy in your organization. Getting my point? So if
Some
there is a
people have
personal reason,
also.
like you have to spend time with your wife or with somebody else's wife, if there is a personal reason, okay, that's not in your control. You can ignore that. But if there is
Yeah.
official reason that I'm not happy in the organization because of my manager or my supervisor or my neighbor or my colleague or whatever is the reason, then you need to work upon it. And how will you get to know this? By counseling the people once they return back from the leave. Okay, talk to them in private. Tell them everything will be confidential. We just want to know whether there is some official reason behind your leave where we can work upon for improvement, or is it really genuine, like a seasonal sickness, because of seasonal changes like common cold and cough, or something like that. If it is like that, okay, fine, thank you. You cannot control. If there is some other personal reason that said actually I need to go to the school of my, I need to attend a school meeting or whatever staff meeting in my kids' school, or I just want to go somewhere else or on a vacation, some whatever you can say. If there is a personal reason, you can say okay, no problem, you can go. You have the right to utilize your extra days, so you utilize it, no problem. But if there is an official reason, for example, exposure to hazardous substances could be one of the reason for sickness, or some other conditions, climatic conditions like hot weather conditions may result in heat stroke, or some other stress to the people, or rainy conditions, foggy, or sorry, not foggy, but humid conditions, or too much of manual handling. If there are such official reasons, you should work upon it. Ergonomical reasons, yeah, like they're suffering with back pain or something like that, or there is some management related reason, stress which can give, the behavior and attitude of the management. Then again, you need to work upon such issues. Got my point, guys?
Yes.
So this is possible only when you sit with these people and talk once they return back from the sick leave. That okay, yes, Mr. Ajit, you were on sick leave for 2 days. Can you please come and talk? Now he will come to you. Now just talk in private, be friendly with him. That okay, I understand you have sick leave, so you want to take it. That's fine. But if there anything where we can help you, where you think improvements are required in the management system or in the activities that you perform, please tell us if there is any official reason behind the sick leave. Now, if there is, they will tell you. If there is no reason, they will simply make excuses. No, 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 sir, everything is fine. I was really sick. Okay, then go. No problem. But at least talk to them. At the point, absenteeism can be associated with sickness or willful withholding of labor. Data derived out of absenteeism reflects on the safety culture of the organization. So you need to talk to them. Okay. Try to implement this practice. I'm telling you, you will enjoy working in the organization if you do this practice, guys. Identify, get the data of people taking absent and talk to them once they are back from their leave. Try to find out official reasons. If it is unofficial, fine, ignore it. But if it is official, please do think about it, discuss that in the committee meetings. That sir, this is one of the reasons why people are taking absent. Can we do something? Do we need to provide a behavior-based safety training to our senior staff? Because their behavior is disturbing some of the employees and they do not want to come to the organization. They're just waiting for another sick leave. Getting my point?
So
It
I have,
happens.
yeah,
We need to work upon these things, guys.
sir, I have one incident on it.
Yes, yes.
I know someone who is working in desert, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Yes, I know also.
as a safety officer, he was complaining regarding the supervisor something. So
Hmm.
in Saudi Arabia, the desert area, what's going on? The people is going on a vehicle, and the once job is finished, that they are coming on the same vehicle.
Yes.
Especially, yeah, especially for the people, I mean safety officer, supervisor. and engineers are going to a small vehicle, and if we have the labor is going with a separate car.
Okay.
So the safety officer, what he did some complaint. So they were the parley, means the argument to each other, supervisor and safety. In the middle of the desert, supervisor
Left the
tell
safety person.
safety officer, deboard here, and he left the safety officer and come back to office.
See, who was culture.
Now you can think he was a safety officer, Middle Indian Tejap, maybe he has water or no, but he managed to come office because in Saudi Arab so many vehicles are available, and now this
Hmm.
like I say desert.
But that
So you
supervisor must be terminated then because of such incident.
no,
Not
because
because he was dealing with a safety person, but because you left a person alone in desert. What if that fellow died? Getting my point?
yes,
You cannot leave a person without support. Like suppose if you have a tent or something and people are working, then you leave them and you go away with your vehicle because you are angry or upset. That is still acceptable with a warning letter.
mhm.
But you just left someone. Imagine if that fellow has received a heart attack.
Yes, or even heat stroke, the middle of the desert, especially
Yes.
any situations with the heat
Any
is
any
there.
health problem. Who was there to support him? So this is an act of murder. We
Self
call it attempt to murder.
attempt to murder.
Yeah. So the person must be some hard action must be taken against the supervisor. So anyway, we are not here to analyze, but yeah, this is the thing. This is what happens. This is an example of poor culture. At least the supervisor would have brought him to the organization and then raised his complaint with the behavior problem of safety person to his seniors rather than himself taking action. Getting my point?
Yes.
Like suppose, for example, if I don't like you, I should report to my supervisor rather than myself removing you from the training. I can do that. You know, I can just cancel your attendance and I can remove you from the training. But is this the right way to behave? Or I should report to my supervisor and inform them to talk with you to settle the issues. Getting the point?
Yes.
So this is what something which is to be done, but it was not done. So it's an indicator of poor culture. Yeah, I'm not blaming a particular supervisor. Maybe it was the safety person at fault, but you need to report, and then investigation will tell you who is right, who is wrong. Then you can take proper action. But at least, come on, you should report. You cannot leave even a worker like that because it's you are risking his life. That too in a desert. You know the conditions of desert. Luckily, that fellow was smart enough to come back. Otherwise, you never know. Even a small incident of a snake bite or a scorpion could have resulted in a death because there was no vehicle to support him. Yeah, in Abu Dhabi, we used to carry two vehicles.
Hmm.
Yeah,
One for
in case of one for emergency, always be there. So unnecessary
yes.
two vehicle used to go. So suppose you have four crews, there will be eight vehicles with you. One is always standby on site. Other one you will be using for traveling here and there.
Yeah,
So
this
that
is the
one
side
vehicle,
in desert also. Here also, you have to always keep one emergency vehicle, and if you have the worker more than 45 in a 15-kilometer radius, you have to have one
buses.
the Class D medical facility with the full trained employee with the ambulance facility.
Yes. I remember we also used to carry ambulance sometimes to the work site. Yeah. So this is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what, guys. Data derived out of absenteeism can reflect on the safety culture of the organization. So it is very, very necessary to find out the reasons of people going absent. Next is staff turnover, which is rate of attrition in any company. Now, this also depends on accident rate or sickness rates in the company. Autocratic behavior of the management is one of the very common reason. Do you know what is autocratic behavior?
Yes, sir.
Can you please explain?
Autocracy means I'm the boss, everything should be according to me.
Yes, very much bullying. I am the boss. Listen to me. Simple.
Hmm.
Or you can say, I am the boss and boss is always right. You might have heard these statements in a movie. Rule number one, boss is always right. Rule number two, follow rule number one. Yeah,
Boss is always right.
yeah. This is an autocratic behavior, which is one of the major reason for people running away from the organizations.
Or you can
Not
say
monetary
dictatorship.
benefits. Monetary benefits are always secondary. Got the point? So you must improve the behavior of the management. And then comes geographical location, which is also a very common reason. Most of the people run away from Middle East is only because of the heat and desert and all these conditions, isolated lifestyle. So
Lifestyle.
from Russia also people run away because of too much cold weather conditions. So geographical locations is also one of the reason, and monetary benefits. You can see it is the last. Monetary benefit is one of the reason. If you are not paying good, obviously, I'll tell you one example of this, guys. One of my friend working as a mechanical engineer, his salary now in Oman, he is right now, and his salary is earning in somewhat 1.8 or 1.9. You can say approximately 2 lakh Indian rupees. 8 months before, this fellow was working in one organization in Oman in 40,000 rupees. Can you imagine the difference? It is approximately 1.5 lakh.
Sorry.
So the previous 1.5 lakh rupee of difference, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
The previous organization was not paying him what he deserved. So he was looking for the job, and as soon as he got another opportunity, he quickly switched the organization. You can do that now in Oman. So he quickly switched the organization. And now he is getting extra 1.5 lakh every month, you can say. And this is what he actually deserves because he is into designing. I hope you understand the value of design.
Mm-hmm.
He is not into field mechanical engineers, those who are doing welding and other activity. He's into designing the mechanical designs, So
Yes, I
he's
know.
into this fellow has also gone through safety courses in designing. So he can be used for safe designing of anything. Now he is getting the right pay. And he immediately left the organization. Initially, he was not getting anything. Yeah, come on, you can imagine what is 40,000 the amount I just said. For a mechanical engineer with 5-6 years of experience, it's nothing. Even more than that, I don't know. Getting the point? So monetary benefits can also be one of the reason why people run away from organizations. If you do not give them sufficient or suitable salaries, they will run away because they understand their value once they will start working. When they will come in contact with others, they will get to know what they are getting is good enough or not, and then obviously they will take action if it is not good. I hope you are getting the point. So we should always make sure that we pay them what is necessary for them. Okay, considering their values, considering their activities, experience, and everything else. Okay, is it clear,
Okay.
guys?
Yes, sir.
So these are some of the reasons why people normally run away from organizations. Most common reason is, and why I'm saying most common, because I have analyzed the exit interview results. You know, exit interview.
Yes, the
So
people before going to that, you ask, why are you
yes,
leaving?
yeah. So when I analyze these results properly, I got to know that one of the most common reason is autocratic behavior. Second was geographical location and or sometimes monetary benefit. But in most of the cases, it is autocratic behavior of the management, which is something that can be controlled, yeah, by training the management properly and how to behave. So this is what it is. Right. Next is level of compliance with health and safety rules and procedures. Very easy, very common indicator. Your audit reports, inspection reports, investigation reports will tell you whether people are complying with rules or not. If they are complying, it's a good indicator. If not, poor indicator. Got it?
Now 9:48, 9:18 in India time.
Yes. Let us finish this. Let us finish the topic. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll go for break. And complaints about working condition. Very, very important tool to understand the loopholes in the management system. If you do not have the system of complaining, you can say this is an example of poor culture. or if you are not working on the worker complaints, if you are taking it as a burden or as a some kind of problem, that is not good. It's an opportunity for us to understand the hidden hazards. Getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
Hidden hazards are stress related
Even,
issues which are not visible. Getting my point, guys? Like if I come to your home as an example for inspection, as health and safety inspection, I can find out some physical, mechanical, electrical hazards. Okay, visible hazards I can find out, but hidden hazards, the stress you are getting from your family members, the stress you are facing every day from the work activity or in-house activities, that is possible only while giving you the opportunity to complain, to come to me whenever there is a problem. Then you will tell me that, sir, I am facing this issue. Getting my point?
yes, sir.
I can get to know the hidden hazards in your house. By physical inspection, I can only find out visible hazards, which are very common. Physical, chemical, biological hazards, I can see them. Hidden stress related issues, one of the major cause of sickness, cannot identify just by visiting. You have to be there either, or you have to talk to the people. Okay, so that's why we should always give them this opportunity to report without name. Don't write your name, but at least report to us, because our intention is improvement, not punishment. I hope you are getting my point.
Yes.
Suppose if you are having some stress in your house because of your elder brother, I'm not going to punish your brother. I will try to improve his behavior, or I will try to improve your understanding. What the point? That you are wrong here, not your brother. You are expecting too much from him, or your brother is wrong, so I will train him in how to behave with the family member. So I can look for improvements. My intention is not to punish you or your brother. Okay, our intention is improvement. So always look for complaints from the workers on the working conditions. You can get to know the loopholes in standard operating procedure. Why? Because they are the one who follow your SOPs. You are only designing and planning, but they are the one following, right? So they can tell you if there is any unwanted requirement which is there, or something which is missing from there. They will tell you to you update them. I'll tell you guys. I think I already informed you. I joined the field when I was very young. I was like, I have not even got my certificate of graduation, and I was in the field because of NABOSH certification. It came before the degree, so I immediately got the job. And actually, not even the certificate of NABOSH, only the result. At that time, NABOSH used to be a very, like
Big.
nobody used to have it. Yeah, it was a very rare thing. So my
And
results was published on online. Okay, so L&T got to know that these are the people who have passed. Now, out of my batch, 7 of us who passed the exam, 6 of the guys were already working in some companies. I was the only one available. So when they contacted me, I immediately agreed to work. They called me from there, said that please come for interview. Okay, and I got the job before even graduation, you can say. So I got my job very early. Now this NABOSH just 1 or 2 books. There at that time there was 2 books. Now it's 1 book. So this book is not sufficient to understand health and safety properly. I learned about health and safety hazards and risk and control measures and everything by talking with workers only. I'm telling you. The first task given to me when I joined in PDO, the first task given to me was to carry out risk assessment of every earth moving equipment. Graders, shovels, dozers, cranes, whatever earth moving equipment you can think of. Backhoe loaders, I used to call it JCB at that time. Yeah, your excavators, whatever you can name them. I used to, this was the first task given to me because PDO think, oh, he is a NABOSH holder. He can do it. They gave me the task. I had to accept it because I am a NABOSH holder. But in practical, I know literally nothing. Yeah, when I entered in the yard with all these equipments, it was like I am in between so many dinosaurs. They are so big. But I have to do it. So I started with talking with the mechanics, operators, and banksmen. And slowly I learned, because that time internet was not very much beneficial. Internet options was very limited at that time. I'm talking about 2006. Even smartphones was not available at that time. And on this site in computer, we hardly used to get like 1 kbps of speed, you can say, or maybe 1 mbps. So you cannot carry out proper research also. Even data is not available online also. So you have to talk with the people, and only while talking and sharing, learning about their experiences with the equipment, I prepared risk assessments, which was successfully utilized and circulated everywhere in PDO area. Later on, modifications were done, reviews and updates were carried out, but initially it was done by me. Getting my point?
Mhm.
So only by talking to the people, or you can say working on their complaints, I understood. I have carried out risk assessment, which is one of the very critical and big activity. So you must give workers the opportunity to speak. Their problems will be very genuine. Their solutions will be reasonably practicable, means practically possible to follow. They will not give you something bookish. Yeah. Whatever they will tell you will be practically possible to follow. This is what is the intention here. Got the point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Can you say, sir, shift one slide before, just behind it?
Okay, it is this one. Level of compliance.
Yes.
Okay, so audit report, investigation or inspection reports, enforcement authority notification, which is the litigation or insurance claim that you receive. So you need to study that to understand what are the flaws or faults in the organization. This is what this is all about. Got the idea?
Yes.
All right. So these are the indicators, guys. Then comes peer group influence, which we will discuss after the break. So let me stop here. It has been more than 60 minutes. I have to stop recording immediately. All right. Any doubts as of now with the indicators?
Oh.
No? All right. So let us go for a break here, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Let's go for a 15-minute break. It's 9:25. So let us restart by 9:40
Okay.
in India. As per Indian timing, 9:40, but we can say 15 minutes break. Okay.
Okay.
Please be back after 15 minutes. We will definitely start. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you after 15 minutes.